Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the adventures of Carid Lorray. Alright, last we left off, we were just taking a peek at some of our journal entries. Let's remind ourselves of the situation at hand. The Elven City requires my aid. Elhan has requested my service none too subtly. To reach Irenicus, I must first help the elves gain entry to their own city, Soldanesalar. Irenicus has hidden it using illusionary magics of some sort that defy dispelling. If we are to regain access, I have to retrieve the Rin Lanthorn, an artifact lantern that is attuned to the Elven nation. Elhan believes that someone powerful that follows Irenicus stole it from the desecrated Elven temple, and I have a very clear idea just who that might be. I will not receive help from the elves in tracking her, even though I am certain I am familiar with their old stomping ground. Elhan has advised that he cannot follow with his battalions for risk of causing an even larger incident, this time with paranoid human forces. He suggested that I seek out allies among the groups I have already met within human territories. I have encountered the famed ranger, Drizzt Do'Urden, and several of his companions on the way back from the Tethir forest. I managed to get him to agree to join in my fight against Bodhi. He will meet me in the catacombs beneath the graveyard district when I am ready to face the vampire.
Yes.
And really, what better time than now? To the graveyard district!
You are becoming an impressive pest, one that I am finding difficult to ignore.
Honestly, Carid Lorray, I simply do not know what to do with you. I grow tired of seeing you in my shadow. I was not the one that fled our last encounter, Bodhi. Sorry if I scared you. Hardly. It was simply more important that I report of your condition to Irenicus. He has decided that it is of no importance, interesting though it is. Regardless, I have not the time to stand here discussing what you will or will not do. I have more important duties to take care of. A simple warning, one that you would do well to heed. Follow Irenicus no more, Carid Lorray, or your end will be dire indeed. I will speak no more to you. Fight, and if you survive, be thankful and go home. Oh wow, and they're appearing right in our face. That's unsettling. Alright everyone, well, time to take up your defenses. Wow, that was rather sudden how they appeared there. Alright, Minsc. Get at him.
Where Minsk goes,
Chihira, you too.
evil stands
Alright, well, let's show these vampires how much we care for their, I don't know, their companionship or company. Alright, Imoen, keep shooting with your bow. Oh, Chihira has been dominated.
Yep.
I think Imoen could deal with that with a remove magic spell. Hopefully it will work. Did it work? Yes, it did!
Jump on my sword while you can. I won't be as gentle.
Well, wasn't that the fight?
Chihira, I would have words with you.
Derman? What are you doing back here? I am glad to see you. I had thought our friendship...
I am not here for a social call. This is the last time we see each other peacefully. I have come to speak a warning. What are you talking about? It has been decided. You are a killer of Harpers, and a traitor. You have collaborated with our known enemies. Your execution has been ordered. What? Such a thing has never been done. This is a very special case. You have faced little opposition from the Harpers so far. From here on, the attacks will increase in severity, unless you come with me now. What do you mean? This is an internal matter of justice and does not involve this Carid Lorray. You can spare him the attacks if you submit. Carid, confused and angry, is asking, what sort of deal is this? The only sort she will get. Think on it, Chihira. You will receive the hearing you wish. Very well, Derman. I will think on this. You do that, Chihira. There will be no other warnings. Huh.
I wouldn't dream
Return to Harper Hold, it says. But we already took out Galvari and the other traitors. Chihira's tutor, Durman, returned once again, this time with a warning. The Harpers have ordered Chihira executed. The attacks from them will continue in severity unless Chihira turns herself into them. Chihira told him that she would think on this, and he left. Now, I do believe from last time we actually did search the underground areas, as evidenced by the fact that the various crypts are actually open. However, I don't think we explored their contents in any length. We do remember that Viconia has actually stationed herself over here, and that supposedly there was some entrance over that way, which would get us into the vampire stronghold, and which we have attacked before on the behest of the Shadow Thieves. Passage has been deliberately collapsed. It appears as if someone doesn't want you to come down here. And that's curious. We'll have to find another way down. Let's see, I do recall there being entrances, I think over here and over here. That might be our way in. No, the same thing. It appears they do not want us coming to the underground to go looking for them. And it would seem then that our only way forward is to actually try to barge down the front door and cause trouble that way. Considering we've already searched the rest of the cemetery, it seems like this is the only real way forward, and I just noticed something rather unpleasant. Yan has actually been level drained, which is a major nuisance. Or energy drained, it's called. Despite all the protections we put up as well. And the only real way we have of remedying that is to actually use Restoration Scrolls, because Chihira does not know that spell. It's only for clerics rather than druids. We only have 2 of them. Minsc is protected from it by his amulet. Oh, this is going to be dicey. But I guess we'll just have to make the best of this.
We are all heroes. You and Boo and I. Hamsters and rangers everywhere. Rejoice!
Alright, so he's been restored. It seems like the smart thing to do would actually be just to basically rest here. And obviously putting guards on watch in order to attack the stronghold during the day. Because this, as we know, is where we last met her. Well, before all the trouble at the Spellhold. So let's try doing that. Oh, one of the other things you have to deal with when your characters get level drained is that you actually have to re-prepare all of the spells they lost. Which, apparently with Yan, there has been a considerable amount of it done. Which is annoying. Alright, so we'll just re-prepare some invisibility spells, which he tends to specialize in. He can't use evocations. Melf's Minute Meteors, always handy. Alright, we already have the invisibility. It would be useful if he had something like Confusion and also Stone Skin. He still has his Breach spells. Spell Immunity? That wouldn't actually work. Nor would protection from normal weapons. Old Monster might be useful, as well as Chaos, considering it's like a more powerful version of Confusion. As for all these spells, I suppose he'll get True Sight and Disintegrate, as well as Chain Lightning and Contingency. 7th level spells, Warding Whip, Protection from the Elements, Project Image. Spell Turning would actually be fairly useful. Ruby's Ray of Reversal is good. I'm going to say Ruby's Ray of Reversal and Delayed Blast Fireball, just for the pyrotechnic angle. Okay, now let's actually try to rest.
No, I can carry nothing else. Your item is on the ground.
And Carrot apparently just dropped something. I don't know what it is.
Good morning, my lad. How are you this morning? did not wish to startle ye, but I was walking by and could not help but notice this note blowing in the wind.
What? It looks important that I should not wish anyone to lose what is really important. Do ye hear what I am saying to thee? I thought so.
No, I can
Good luck.
carry nothing else. Your item is on the ground.
Apparently Carrot has just decided to drop everything. Because, for whatever reason, Jaheira is missing? Oh, come on! This is not the time! Okay, maybe resting was not the best idea. Alright, well let's just get Scales out. Come on, Scales. Where is he? Oh, I think he's over here. Or no, wait, maybe you have to click on him. Oh, there you are. Come on, Scales. Back out you go. Alright, yeah, you're doing alright. Well, our Jaheira kind of got kidnapped, it seems. So just get back in the pack there, friend. Good. And let's check out this note. Jaheira's note for Carrot Lorre. Carrot, goodbye. No sappy farewells or crying over how things must be. I do neither of these things well, nor would I wish to. I have made a decision, one that is not ideal, but it is necessary. I can go nowhere without this shadow, and I wish to leave it behind. I am returning to the Harper Hold that I might face judgment there. I will plead the case as we saw it for whatever they accuse, and if they do not see reason, then I will suffer what I must. Galvary had detractors as well as allies, so I believe I can end this in my favor. If not, at least it will be an end. I do not ask you to follow. I do this for myself, and there will be little or no gain for you. You may still be a target of violence, but perhaps their interest in you will wither beside the capture of a traitor. For better or worse, I am taking control once more. I hope to see you again in better times. With nature's love, and mine, Jaheira. Alright, well, Carrot is not just going to take this lying down with a fresh whiff of Jaheira's hair and throwing Yoshimo's journal at Imoen because he doesn't want to carry that crap right now. It looks like the party is going to have to go to Harper's Hold and find out what the heck just happened to her. He was hoping to attack the vampires during the daytime. They'd be totally unprepared. He's actually thinking it would be an excellent way to actually go about throwing the enemy off balance, but that does not seem the case. It seems like it's time to return to Harper's Hold. Hopefully we won't be too late. Galvary's estate.
Task at hand.
Galvary himself no longer being alive, thanks to us, but, you know, he was basically just a mock trial, and he did go about attacking us for, well, just the fact that he wanted to. Can't really blame us for fighting in self-defense. Just doesn't feel like a party without her. Alright everyone, let's go. Ooh, wow. They don't look happy to see us. Hostile mercenaries?
All right, you and me. You live by the sword.
Well, so much for doing this peacefully.
Good long time.
Actually, paralysis bolts might be useful here.
A standard something that.
All right, you and me. Let's go. All right, you and me. Let's go.
Ready and able.
Beware! Your knees are mine!
Of course.
Stand back for justice!
Well, we dealt with the first batch of nasty mercenaries. Let's see what else. Looks like they had reasonable equipment, but nothing really that impressive, all things considered. And these scrolls off to Carrot. Powerful healing potions are always handy. Carrot can also identify this armor. Studded leather armor +1. Nothing of particular worth, so we'll just have Minsc hold it. As for these minor scrolls, well, we'll just stash them away and continue on.
I wouldn't dream of refusing.
She doesn't appear to be here. Mystra, the goddess of magic and a reputed friend of the Harpers. Is it possible that she is in one of these back offices? No, she's not here. Well, I thought that eye picture is really kind of creepy. He should probably keep his staff at the ready, but well, we'll have that done soon enough. Alright, let's see what we find upstairs.
What are you doing? Why are you here?
What a ridiculous question to ask. What would Carrot say? I suppose your troubles are my troubles, Jaheira, and you will not face them alone. Caird Llerei, you magnificent bastard! I would kill you for following me if I were not so glad to see you. Jaheira, I don't care that... What? Glad? I thought you wanted this. I wanted to atone with the Harpers, but these are not they. I think revenge is more a factor here. The true Harpers have abandoned this garish place. Notice the lack of spectral Harpers. They were here at one time, and they would not leave their post unless it was no longer to be guarded. But it is guarded, just not by Harpers. It would seem our fighting is not done. We may still be hunted. I must ask Durman if I see him again. He told me to come here, so I need to know if his allegiance has changed or not. Those we kill in self-defense may look like Harper allies, even if they are not. We have no choice, and I will not feel guilty over this tangled web anymore. Let's get out of here, but take care. If their tactics are as simple as their motives, then you may have been allowed to pass. Our exit may be treacherous. And we will go together. Rejoin and walk with me. I am glad too. We will talk later, Carrot.
Just name what you want.
Alright, Jaheira is back in the party. Thankfully. And it appears that she dropped some important stuff that she had, which Imoen will give back to her. Because it is of various personal significance to her. We're actually... Well, whatever. We'll figure this out later. Yeah. So what do we got? We got her back. Got this book. I guess everyone can just hold on to it. Suppose she'll hold the vampire killing stuff from now on. As for this note, well, we don't really need it anymore. Definitely keeping the hair though. Hehehe, so creepy. Keeping the Journal of Yoshimo. And I guess that's it then. We have her back in the party. I think we had her here. Was that the format we were using? Something like that? That might be more useful for dealing with hallways. Ooh, maybe not. That's actually not that good. What about a line formation? Oh, that would put Carrot at the front. There we go. That one seems to work alright. Alright, we might have enemies waiting for us downstairs. Which is going to be a real problem. Let's hope that's not the case. Oh, yep, yeah, there sure are. Oh, and they've got themselves some genuine mages. Alright, well let's throw a remove magic out their way. Yan, you're the breacher. Please breach that mage's defenses. Carrot, this would probably be a great time to cast Hard Wilting. Well, that seemed to be effective.
Just as I thought.
Now, who could this be posing as Harpers? I mean, they seem to be relatively well equipped, given what kind of gear that they have. +2 daggers, +1 leather armor. I mean, that's not chump equipment. We even have a Sphere of Chaos. Wow, that's actually a pretty neat spell. Save versus spells every round they remain in the sphere. They suffer random effects, none of which are good. Well, except for being healed 20 hit points. Or hasted. But hey, that is something that Carrot would probably enjoy casting. Anyway, invisibility. Ah, yes, he was actually taking to carrying some of these potions, because it helps when he's trying not to die so much.
To the task at hand.
Even more healing potions. And other various interesting things, including sling bullets. We've certainly been running low on those for a while. Magic flails. And fairly unremarkable slings. What is this a spell of? Spell Shield, an abjuration spell. Well, we can look at that later. This armor might be worth something, so we might as well give it there. And we'll save the bullets, because we really don't have enough for Jaheira right now. He actually is maxed out on healing potions, of the strong variety, so I guess we'll just distribute them accordingly. Ah, yeah. It would seem that is everything they had, except maybe over here. Apparently this mage had a bit of stuff on them. And everyone else, those other 3, were the people we defeated earlier. Bracers of defense that aren't particularly valuable. I suppose we'll just end up selling these, more likely than not.
Of course.
So we got Harper impersonators trying to hunt us down and take revenge on Jaheira. Question is,
I wouldn't dream of it.
who could they be? I mean, Jaheira has made a lot of enemies. I mean, we remember that whole curse that was placed on us by Baron Ployer. So, who knows where and in what form the threat could be coming from. Something we have to be wary of. It's a shame that we don't have more of a lead, but it's kind of the best we have to work with right now. It seems like the most prudent thing to do, considering it's still daytime, is to actually go and buy some more restoration scrolls and then try to raid Bodhi's lair during the day. We might be able to catch some of the vampires asleep that way, which would certainly make things easier for us.
Of course.
Let's see. I think this is the monk we can trade with here. Oh, no, that does not seem to be the case. I'd like to see your services, please. Yes, this is where we can buy things. Restoration scrolls. We can buy 3 of them. We'll take all of them, please. And I doubt we'll be able to sell the stuff that we've been collecting. No, this is narrowly not the time and place for selling such paraphernalia, although that probably would be a good idea. As for other things to have that would be useful, Potions of Genius, we already have plenty of them, but let's buy one more. Alright, that's reasonable. Well, I think we did find a few scrolls recently, so I suppose it couldn't hurt to actually learn a few of them. I can't learn that one. How about the Sphere of Chaos? There we are. Restoration will go here, so Carrot can use it. Spell Shield he's not able to use. What about you, Yan? He's actually learned the maximum. We could fix that. Imoen learns it. Perfect. Good. Alright. Well, that simplifies those things. Minsc definitely has some crap that he should sell. Quite a bit of crap, but Jaheira is the one who actually has more room. So we'll just take this random crap we have and find a local vendor just to pawn it off at.
We are all heroes. You and
Because at this point in the adventure, every bit of gold that the party is able to track down and use is helpful. It's quite possible we might be able to just go and unload it on some of the local vendors without having to do much else. It's really not even necessary to heal Minsc in between fights now that we have the Ring of Gax, considering he's regenerating 2 hit points a round, which is basically 2 hit points every 6 seconds. Which is pretty amazing, when you think about it. Converting to 1 hit point every 3 seconds, I mean, that's... You could go a long way with something like that. I mean, it's certainly not troll-like regeneration, but it's fairly impressive. Troll-like, you could say. I do believe there are just some random merchants over here that we could talk to and selling some of this junk. It's probably not even really worth going to the Adventurer's Mart to pawn it off, like we have with a lot of other goods, because what we found so far, while it is magical, is in no means otherwise remarkable. And the rest of this stuff we should just kind of get rid of, because it's not really going to be doing much for us, if anything. And that seems like the reasonable thing to do. We might actually be able to also get some more bullets, magical bullets for Jaheira, considering she's been running real short on ammunition lately.
Make way, villainy. Hero coming through.
We'd like to see your wares, Mira. Have anything fun? Cursed Scroll of Foolishness. Okay, so we have sold a few things to her in the past. Alright, anyway, so let's get rid of our junk. Which included all of this. Not bad. Not bad at all. And we could buy magic bullets. All 3 stacks of them. That would actually solve her ammunition problem. Which is quite good. I don't think Minsc has anything to sell, really. What does he have here? Ah, the normal Ring of Regeneration. That actually would probably be really good on somebody else. Question is, who has a ring slot that could actually take use of that? Carrods are dedicated to the rings that give him bonus spells. Ah, and we actually should probably give Minsc a belt, since we do have extra belts for piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning. That would be useful. As for what attacks the vampires use, I imagine it would be bludgeoning, because they typically just try to strike you with their fists. Haven't really seen them using any kind of special weaponry. So maybe that's what we need to go with. She uses a Ring of Invisibility and Human Influence. I'm not really sure that Imoen needs that. She usually isn't doing the talking for the party. I think Caird might actually just keep that as a potential trinket that he could use when it's needed. It's not like the party is known for being particularly charming. As for these mundane bullets, we can just dispose of them. Alright, now we actually have some decent ammunition for her. Yenna's practically drowning in the stuff after what we had to deal with in the Underdark. But, you know, that is just kind of how that works. I'm not sure he even has anything in his wolf bag anymore other than the wave shaft, which is really only used to keep ingredients. Unfortunately, the other half of the shaft we lost, because we can't go back to the Underdark, and that's where it was, so we might as well just get rid of it, because we can't sell it for anything. It'd be pretty hilarious just leaving that on the ground. Don't litter, kids, it's wrong. Except when it's a video game and nobody cares, or is affected. Alright, so now that we've done all of that, I think this is probably a good time for us to actually go after those damn vampires, during the day in particular. Because I do believe in the Forgotten Realm setting that vampires are slain by being out in the daylight, rather than other types of lore. Fun fact about vampirism and where that all came from. The earliest known stories I've read or heard about in terms of talking about fictionalized vampires is the 1922 German silent film Nosferatu, where which was pretty much just a Bram Stoker ripoff. Count Morlock was the name of the vampire in that movie, and he was, well, I don't know, it's public domain, by the way. You could just look it up on YouTube. It's called Nosferatu, Nosferatu, I believe. And let's just say that sunlight is not his friend. Now, before that, like in Bram Stoker's Dracula's novel itself, vampires could walk around in the day at normal. They wouldn't have any of their magical superpowers or anything like that, but they could do it. Question is, can we get inside? Yes. Somehow we can. Now, doesn't it seem weird that they went to such great lengths to make sure that these 3 different passageways into the underground areas of the cemetery had been deliberately collapsed and blocked off, and yet they leave their front door open? I mean, we didn't even have to pick the lock. This seems kind of like a severe security breach. I mean, did Viconia have something to do with it?
I wouldn't.
Viconia, are you up to no good?
Have you changed your mind?
Well, Viconia wants to join our party. No, I haven't changed my mind, Viconia. Decision reeks of ill-considered bias. If your reckoning returns, I suggest you do as well. We could have her join the party, but unfortunately associating with Drow would not do well, and I think that her kind of moral compass is not quite what the others experience, and she would probably grate on a lot of the rest of the party. I mean, it's not that he's prejudiced against Drow, because obviously Drizzt is quite heroic, but the ones we met in the Underdark itself were not that nice. Anyway, I think this is enough for this episode. Next time, we'll actually try to break into Bodhi's lair,
We have
and
had many people seek our death so far. Some would have been friends had things been different. This weighs on my mind.
okay, well, I guess we're going to talk a little bit. I guess thinking about this, Caird would say something like, I'd hoped this would end better, but their treachery has soured me. He's getting kind of really embittered to it. They acted out of fear. Guarding the balance is very important. Galvery may have been in the wrong, but those that followed him believed they did right. I can only act as I will, Jaheira. What else can I do if they are not willing to listen? I do not know what to suggest. I would follow you, because I know you will ultimately do good, but they are my kin. I don't know what to do. You can only do as you must, whatever that might be, Jaheira. As all good advice, that was absolutely no help at all. Come, let's get going. That was an interesting little tidbit. I wonder if we can actually talk to Jaheira at length.
Name what you want.
No. Not at this time. Alright, well, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll rejoin the adventure later. Thanks, and see you later!